All right, so you're thinking about trading in those snow boots for some flip-flops
Mm-hmm.
and diving headfirst into Bangkok,
That's right.
and you're looking for that perfect two-bedroom apartment,
The perfect pads.
that's right, to call home.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a stack of intel here to make sure you find an amazing place in this incredible city.
Bangkok is like, it's like that choose your own adventure book.
I like that.
Every neighborhood has its own personality, its
Yep.
own vibe. You could be sipping on a rooftop bar in Thonglor, or rubbing elbows with diplomats in Sathorn, or maybe you're haggling over mangoes at a market in Onnut.
Yeah,
It all comes down to what kind of Bangkok story you want to write.
I love that. Okay, so let's break down these Bangkok neighborhoods, give you the inside scoop, like what to look for in an apartment,
Yeah.
and even arm you with some like ninja-level negotiation tactics for the rental market.
Yeah. You ready to deep dive?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. Neighborhood vibe check, like finding the right playlist, right?
Yeah.
For your life in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Wathana. This is a cool mix of modern and traditional, picture gleaming new condos, right next to those classic Thai houses.
Yeah, yeah.
All within walking distance of the BTS.
That's convenient.
It's really popular for families,
Okay.
because of all the international schools. And public transport's really accessible.
Okay, so Wathana is like a nice blend of old and new,
Yeah.
convenient and family friendly.
Yeah.
Got it. But let's say you're someone who thrives on that energy, excitement. You want to be where the music's pumping and that street food is sizzling all night long.
Then Thonglor is calling your name.
Oh, tell me about it.
Forget sleep.
All right, all right. I'm ready.
This is the heart of Bangkok's nightlife. Picture this. You step out of your door right into a hidden speakeasy, live jazz maybe, or, a rooftop bar, incredible city views that'll just blow you away, high-end apartments, trendy restaurants. It's a party that, seemed like it never ends.
Okay, Thonglor sounds electric.
That.
But I'm also thinking about those listeners who are moving to Bangkok for work. They want to be, in the middle of everything, but maybe not that kind of action.
Right. For those movers and shakers, Sathorn is the place to be. Imagine you walk out of your apartment, you get hit with that panoramic view, those gleaming skyscrapers, the Chao Phraya River, just winding its way through it all. That's Sathorn. It's the central business district, full of those towering offices, embassies, that unmistakable buzz, corporate energy.
Yeah.
Ideal for, professionals. Close to work. Soak up that, that fast-paced city lifestyle.
So Sathorn is the place to, power dress and make some deals.
That's it.
I got it. But I'm also thinking those skyscraper views probably come with a pretty hefty price tag.
Yeah.
What about, someone who wants a more laid-back vibe and maybe a little more breathing room, in their budget?
Then let's hop on the BTS. Head a few stops down to Onnut.
Okay.
Onnut is like Bangkok's best-kept secret.
Oh, really?
It's a little bit off the beaten path, but trust me, that's part of the charm. You get that city living, but with a more, relaxed local feel. Modern apartments, strong sense of community. And then you got those amazing, authentic Thai markets where you can haggle, everything. Fresh produce, street food.
Onnut sounds like a great balance then.
Yeah.
Between, convenience and affordability. I'm already picturing myself browsing those markets.
Yeah.
But what about families with young children? Is there a neighborhood that's known for being particularly, family-friendly?
Absolutely. Flow and Chit, it's all about creating that safe and comfortable environment for families. You'll find spacious apartments, perfect for families. Plenty of green spaces, playgrounds, and, a real sense of peace. Hard to come by in a bustling city.
Okay, so we've got Wathana for the blend of old and new, Thonglor for the night owls, Sathorn for the corporate climbers, Onnut for the kind of budget-savvy explorers, and Flow and Chit for the, peace-seeking families. I'm loving this neighborhood tour. But once you've narrowed down your ideal location, what should you actually be looking for in an apartment itself?
Space and design are so crucial. Remember, you're living in a busy metropolis, so making the most of every square meter is key.
Yeah.
Open plan layouts are really, really popular in Bangkok. It creates that, airy and uncluttered feel, even in those smaller apartments.
So open plan living is in.
It's in.
Got it. Any other must-have features people should be on the lookout for?
Location, location, location. It's a cliche for a reason.
Right.
Imagine this. You find a dream apartment. It's got all the bells and whistles, but it takes you an hour and a half to get to work every morning because you're stuck in Bangkok's infamous traffic. You're going to want to prioritize being close to the BTS or the MRT.
Yeah. No one wants to spend their life in a taxi. Being close to public transport is definitely a game changer. What about other conveniences?
Think about your lifestyle. Do you love to cook? Make sure you're close to a market or a good supermarket.
Right.
Fitness fanatic? Look for a building with a gym. Easy access to a park. If you've got a furry friend, you'll want to double check that the building is pet friendly.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of them are these days. They even offer, like, pet parks, grooming services.
Yes.
It's a whole thing.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got the layout, the location, the pet policy.
Mhm.
What about the lease itself? Any insider tips on what to look out for?
Pay close attention to the lease terms, especially the minimum lease period.
Okay.
Most contracts in Bangkok are for a year, and there can be penalties for breaking the lease early. Don't be afraid to ask questions and clarify anything that's unclear. Better to be informed up front than have surprises later on.
Okay, so we've covered the neighborhood vibe check. There's must-have apartment features, even a sneak peek at the lease agreement. Now let's get down to, like, the brass tacks. What can people realistically expect to pay for a two-bedroom apartment in Bangkok?
Well, like any big city, prices can vary,
Of course.
depending on location, the level of luxury you're looking for. You can find anything from, like, luxurious pool villas in Bang Tao, Phuket, going as high as 120,000 baht per month.
Hold up. 120,000 baht. That's some serious pool villa action.
Oh, yeah.
But for, someone on a tighter budget, what are some more realistic options? What about those neighborhoods we talked about, like On Nut?
You're right, those pool villas are definitely a splurge. But don't worry, there are plenty of more affordable options.
Yeah.
Like in On Nut, you can find those comfy, modern serviced apartments for around 115,000 baht per month, and these come fully furnished. And a lot of times they include access to amenities like a pool or gym.
On Nut is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
But for someone who's new to the Bangkok rental market, how do you even begin to navigate this whole process? It can be a bit, overwhelming.
Do your research. Knowledge is power. Start by browsing online real estate portals. Get a sense of typical prices in your desired neighborhood.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to reach out to, multiple landlords, agents. Ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And remember, negotiation is key, especially if you're renting during, off-season or you're considering a longer lease.
So it's like a game of strategy. You got to do your homework, play it cool, and be ready to negotiate.
That's it.
I like it. But what about those service departments you mentioned? Those sound tempting, especially for someone who's new to the city.
Service apartments are fantastic for, those who value convenience and flexibility. Picture this. You arrive in Bangkok, just your suitcase. You walk into your new apartment, fully furnished,
Yeah.
utilities set up. There's a sparkling pool downstairs, maybe a gym, a sauna. It's like checking into a hotel.
Right.
But with, the space and privacy of your own apartment.
That does sound pretty dreamy. No furniture shopping, no utility bills to worry about.
Exactly.
What's the catch? Are they more expensive than regular apartments?
Not necessarily. They can be surprisingly affordable, especially if you factor in all the included amenities and that hassle-free factor.
Right.
Plus, they offer a lot of flexibility. You can find them for short-term, long-term stays, so it makes them a really good option for all kinds of needs.
Service departments are definitely on my radar now.
Mm-hmm.
But with all these options out there, swirling around, how do you actually choose the perfect fit for you?
First, you got to get real about your budget. Don't just factor in the rent itself. Think about all those extra costs. Utilities, internet, potential service fees. It's about finding that balance between your desired lifestyle and what you can comfortably afford.
Right. No point in falling in love with a place that's going to break the bank.
Exactly.
What other factors should people keep in mind?
Think about your priorities. Location-wise, right? Revisit that neighborhood vibe check we did. You want to be in the heart of the action, that energy of Thong Lor.
Yeah.
Or maybe you prefer the peace and quiet of Flow and Chit. Also, consider your commute, the neighborhood's atmosphere, and what kind of lifestyle you're picturing for yourself.
Okay.
In Bangkok, right? Are you a foodie?
Yeah.
You want to be close to all these markets. Are you more of like a nature lover? Easy access to parks and green spaces? It's all about figuring out what matters to you.
It's about prioritizing those non-negotiables. Great advice. But let's say you found a few apartments that tick all the boxes.
Yeah.
How do you make that final decision?
Think about the future. Are you planning to stay in Bangkok for a while? If so, you might want to consider the potential resale or lease value of the apartment. Some areas are better for future investment than others.
Okay.
It's about finding a place you love now that also makes sense for, you know, your long-term goals. It's kind of like a puzzle. You fit all those different pieces together.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. See what makes the most sense for you.
And that brings us to a question that's been on my mind since you mentioned those pool villas.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they sound amazing,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing they're not exactly, budget friendly. Tell me more.
The pool villas in Bangkok, Phuket, they're in a league of their own.
Okay.
They offer like the ultimate in privacy and luxury.
All right, all right. I'm listening.
Imagine waking up to the sound of birdsong.
Mm-hmm.
Take a dip in your private pool
Oh, my goodness.
before you start your day.
Sounds like paradise. What kind of amenities do these villas typically come with?
Well, aside from that private pool, you can expect spacious living areas, lush gardens,
Right.
fully equipped kitchens. Often, they even have a dedicated staff for cleaning and maintenance. It's like
Hmm.
having your own personal resort.
Wow, sign me up. But I have a feeling those come with a pretty hefty price tag, like you mentioned before.
You're not wrong. They definitely fall into the luxury category. But for those, seeking that ultimate Bangkok experience,
Mm-hmm.
there's something to consider.
Okay, pool villa tour officially added to my Bangkok to-do list. But let's step back into reality for a moment
Yeah.
and talk about the legal aspects of renting an apartment in Bangkok. I know this can be a bit, daunting, especially for those who are new to the city.
It can be overwhelming, but understanding the basics can save you a lot of potential headaches down the road.
Right.
First and foremost, familiarize yourself with lease agreements.
Okay.
These are legally binding documents, so read them carefully before you sign anything.
And most leases in Bangkok are for a year, right?
That's right, and there can be penalties for early termination, so it's important to be absolutely sure about the location, the terms, before you commit.
So who pays for what? Who fixes what? Got it.
That's it.
Now, I know some people might feel a bit lost navigating all this legal jargon.
Yeah.
What about working with a real estate agent? Can that help simplify the process?
Absolutely. A reputable real estate agent can be your best friend in this process. They know the ins and outs of the market. They can help you find a place that meets your needs, guide you through the paperwork, make sure everything is in order. They can be your advocate, negotiating on your behalf, making sure your interests are protected.
So it sounds like having that local expertise on your side can really make a difference.
It really can.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground today. From neighborhood vibes to those must-have apartment features, negotiating tips, even delving into the legal side of things. We even got a little sidetracked with those dreamy pool villas.
It's all part of the fun.
But before we jump into the excitement of, decorating and making your new apartment feel like home, let's take a moment to talk about the move itself.
Okay.
Any tips for making that process as smooth as possible?
You bet. Moving can be stressful, but with a little bit of planning, you can make it a lot less daunting. First things first. Make a checklist. Everything you need to do. Book movers. Notify your landlord. Organize your belongings. And don't underestimate the power of packing efficiently. If you're short on time or, just want to make things easier on yourself, consider using professional packing services.
Makes sense. What about things like utilities and internet?
You'll want to contact service providers ahead of time to schedule installations.
Okay.
So you have everything up and running when you arrive. Nothing worse than moving into your new place and not having Wi-Fi.
I completely agree. And once you're settled in, don't forget to take some time to explore your new neighborhood. Get familiar with the local amenities, the transportation links, all those hidden gems that make Bangkok such a vibrant city.
Embrace those local cafes, the parks, the markets. Really immerse yourself in the local culture and make that new neighborhood feel like home.
All right, so we've moved in, unpacked, the Wi-Fi's working, ready to explore. Now let's talk about the fun part. Decorating. I know you have some great tips for, making the most of that Bangkok apartment space and creating a stylish and comfortable home.
Oh, absolutely.
You're ready to unleash your inner interior designer?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's turn that blank canvas into a masterpiece. All right, so let's talk about turning that Bangkok apartment into a really stylish and functional home. Remember, we're going for that perfect blend of comfort and, Bangkok flair.
Yes. I'm so ready for this.
Yeah.
I always find decorating so much fun, especially in a new city. Like a blank canvas
It
And
is.
Bangkok is just like bursting with inspiration. You've got the vibrant street markets, the sleek modern architecture.
It's all there. And remember, you don't need a ton of space to create a stylish and welcoming home.
Okay, good point.
One of the keys, especially in a smaller apartment, is to embrace minimalism.
Okay, like
Clean lines, uncluttered surfaces, a focus on functionality.
so less is more. Got it. What about furniture? Any tips for making the most of, limited square meters? Right.
Absolutely. Choose furniture that serves like multiple purposes. A sofa bed that can double as a guest bed, for example. Great space saver. Or a coffee table with built-in storage.
Oh, smart.
And don't forget about vertical space.
Right.
Shelves, wall-mounted units.
Yeah.
Keep things organized and off the floor. Beds with drawers underneath are lifesavers.
Oh, for sure. Those are great tips. I'm already picturing myself like transforming my new Bangkok apartment into this like minimalist haven.
Yes.
But how do you add that touch of Bangkok charm, right?
Yes.
I don't want it to feel too generic.
That's where your personal style comes in.
Of course.
But here's a fun idea. Think about incorporating, local elements into your decor. You can find incredible treasures at those Bangkok markets. From, hand-woven textiles to intricate wood carvings.
Oh, I love that. Like pops of vibrant silk cushions on a neutral sofa, or maybe like some hand-painted ceramics on a floating shelf.
Exactly.
It's all about creating a space that reflects, your personality, your love for your new city.
You got it. And remember, decorating is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
Take your time, experiment. Different styles, elements.
Yeah.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Your Bangkok apartment should be a reflection of you and your unique Bangkok story.
I love that. Okay, we've got the neighborhood picked out, the apartment secured, the boxes are unpacked,
Yeah.
and the decorating is like well underway.
Uh,
But there's this, big decision that a lot of people face when moving to a new city.
yes.
Renting versus buying. I know this can be a complex issue, especially in like a dynamic market like Bangkok.
It definitely is. And there's no one right answer. It depends on your financial situation, your lifestyle, your long-term plans.
Okay, so let's break it down. What are some key things people should think about when making this decision?
Well, renting generally offers lower upfront costs and more flexibility. You don't have to worry about like a down payment, mortgage payments, property taxes. So it's good for those who aren't ready to commit long term or who value that freedom to, move around easily, keeping things, simple and flexible.
That makes sense. But what about the, potential benefits of owning a property?
Buying a property can be a great long-term investment, especially in a city like Bangkok where the market has shown strong growth historically.
Right.
You're building equity. Potentially, you're going to see a return on that investment down the road. But, buying does come with more responsibility. You're responsible for maintenance,
Right.
repairs, any fluctuations in the market.
So it's about weighing those like short-term costs and flexibility benefits of renting
Yeah.
against the potential long-term gains of buying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any tips for navigating this whole decision-making process? Think about your lifestyle, your financial goals, future plans. Are you planning to settle down in Bangkok long-term? You have a family. Are you comfortable with the responsibilities of, home ownership?
Those are all good questions. And I imagine market trends play a role as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's essential to research current rental and purchase trends in Bangkok. Are prices going up? Are they going down? Is there a high demand for rentals in your, desired neighborhood? These factors can all influence your decision. Don't be afraid to seek, professional advice, a financial advisor, a real estate agent. They can provide valuable insights and help you make, that informed decision.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from finding that perfect apartment to tackling the, rent versus buy dilemma.
Yes. But there's one thing we absolutely cannot leave out when talking about Bangkok.
Tell me.
The food.
Oh, yes.
Come on.
Bangkok is a street food paradise.
It's an adventure in itself. It's this vibrant mix of flavors, aromas, textures.
I'm already drooling just thinking about it.
It's a feast for the senses.
So, for someone who's new to Bangkok, ready to dive into this culinary wonderland, where do we even begin?
Well, first things first, embrace the street food. It's the heart and soul of Bangkok's culinary scene. You're going to find food stalls and, small eateries everywhere offering this incredible array of dishes. Classic pad thai, fragrant curries.
Oh, yeah.
Grilled seafood, spicy salads. There's something for every taste and every budget.
It's like a culinary treasure hunt.
Exactly.
What about those iconic floating markets?
Oh, yeah.
That seemed like such a unique experience.
They absolutely are. The floating markets are a sight to behold. Imagine browsing through, a colorful array of fruits, vegetables, local
Oh
delicacies
my goodness.
while gliding along a canal in a traditional longtail boat. It's a truly immersive experience.
Okay, I'm adding floating market food to my to-do list. And for those who want to go beyond just eating, actually
Yeah.
learn how to cook some of these amazing dishes. I've heard Bangkok has incredible cooking classes.
Yeah. You heard right. Cooking classes are a fantastic way to delve deeper into Thai cuisine. You can learn those secrets of, traditional dishes from experienced local chefs and impress your friends back home with your, newfound culinary skills.
That's such a good idea. Now, we've talked about finding the perfect place to live, indulging in all that delicious food. But how do you actually get around this bustling city?
Getting around Bangkok is an adventure in itself.
I bet it is.
From those iconic tuk-tuks to, those fearless motorbike taxis to the modern SkyTrain, the underground metro.
Yeah.
Bangkok has it all. A whole range of transportation options to suit every need, every budget.
Okay, let's start with the classics.
Okay.
What's it like riding in a tuk-tuk? I have to admit, they look a bit hair-raising to me.
I understand the hesitation.
Yeah.
Tuk-tuks are definitely an exhilarating way to experience Bangkok. They're open-air, three-wheeled vehicles. They just weave through traffic with surprising agility. It's a bumpy ride, but it's a fun and immersive way to, see the city.
So maybe not for the faint of heart.
Perhaps not. What about those motorbike taxis? I've heard they can get you just about anywhere.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
They are definitely the quickest way to navigate Bangkok's, often congested streets. They can zip through those tiny little alleyways, get you to your destination in a flash. Just hold on tight.
I'll keep that in mind. But for those who prefer, a more predictable, less adrenaline-pumping mode of transport,
Right.
what about the SkyTrain and the metro?
The BTS SkyTrain and the MRT Underground, they're the backbone of Bangkok's public transport. They're clean, efficient, air-conditioned, a great way to beat the traffic. You can buy, single-ride tickets or reloadable cards for multiple journeys. Super convenient.
That sounds pretty user-friendly.
The-
What about taxis? Are they a reliable option?
Taxis are pretty readily available throughout the city. Just make sure to get one with a working meter and have your destination written down in Thai. Avoid any communication issues. And for a more modern option, you can always use those ride-hailing apps.
Right, like Grab.
Exactly.
So we've got tuk-tuks for the adventurous, motorbike taxis for those quick hops, the SkyTrain and metro for the efficient commuters, taxis for door-to-door service, and ride-hailing apps for the, tech-savvy approach. It sounds like Bangkok has all its transportation bases covered.
It really does. And each one offers a different perspective of the city. Whether you're zipping through the streets in a tuk-tuk, soaring above the city on the SkyTrain, or cruising along the Chao Phraya River on a long-tail boat, getting around Bangkok is an experience in itself.
Bangkok sounds like, sensory overload in the best possible way.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about something that's equally important. Safety. What are some things people should be aware of to, stay safe and healthy in Bangkok?
Bangkok is generally a safe city, but like any major metropolis, it's important to be, aware of your surroundings. Take some basic precautions. Be mindful of your belongings, especially in crowded areas.
Right.
And avoid walking alone late at night in, dimly lit areas. Use reputable services. Stick to registered taxis or, ride-hailing apps when it comes to transport.
Yeah.
And negotiate fares beforehand
Okay.
with tuk-tuk drivers. Avoid any surprises.
Good advice. What about health concerns? Anything specific people should be aware of?
It's always a good idea to, consult with your doctor about recommended vaccinations before you travel to Bangkok.
Right.
Pack any, necessary medications. The tropical climate can take some getting used to. So stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and take breaks from the heat.
That's good advice. And what about the food? I know we talked about how Bangkok is famous for its street food, but are there any precautions people should take to, avoid any tummy troubles?
You're right. The street food's incredible, but
Right.
it's always wise to choose, stalls that look clean and busy.
Okay.
It's also a good idea to start with smaller portions until you get used to, the local cuisine.
Right.
And always wash your hands before eating.
Good reminders. Okay, so we've got our safety tips covered. Now, before we wrap up this, deep dive, I want to touch on one more aspect of Bangkok life that I find fascinating.
Okay. Oh.
Its spiritual side. From those ornate temples to serene meditation retreats, Bangkok offers this, like, unique blend of urban energy and, I don't know, spiritual tranquility. It's a city of contrasts in the best way possible.
It's true. Bangkok's spiritual side is deeply interwoven into its cultural fabric. You'll find Buddhist temples and shrines, scattered throughout the city, offering a glimpse into Thailand's rich religious heritage.
So where should we start our spiritual journey? Any, like, must-visit temples?
Wat Arun, the Temple of Dawn.
Okay.
It's an architectural marvel. It's that towering prang, that Khmer-style tower,
Oh, yeah.
adorned with, colorful porcelain. Truly a breathtaking sight.
I've seen pictures. It's stunning. What other temples would you recommend?
Wat Pho,
Okay,
home to the reclining Buddha.
of course.
Another iconic temple. The sheer size of the Buddha statue is just awe-inspiring.
And the temple complex itself is, this tranquil oasis in the heart of the city.
It sounds like the perfect place to, find a little peace and quiet amidst the city's, hustle and bustle. What about for those who want to go a little deeper? Maybe even try some meditation.
What Mahathat
Okay.
offers meditation retreats, courses. You can learn the basics of mindfulness and experience the tranquility of, traditional Buddhist practice.
This is incredible. Bangkok really does offer something for everyone. From those bustling markets, vibrant nightlife, to those serene temples and meditation retreats. It's like a city that nourishes every part of you.
The body, the mind, the soul. It really does. And that brings us to a question that I think is at the heart of this whole deep dive. So
Yeah.
we've talked about finding that perfect neighborhood, that ideal apartment, the best street food, even the most serene temples. But with all of this, all this exploration and discovery, what is it that truly makes someone feel at home in a new city like Bangkok? Is it, the place itself, the people, the experiences, or something else entirely? I guess what I'm asking is, what's that secret sauce? Creating that sense of belonging in a place that's, initially foreign to you.
It's a great question, and I think it's one that, resonates with anyone who's ever ventured outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
To embrace a new place, a new way of life, It's not about ticking things off like a tourist checklist or finding, the perfect apartment. It's more about those connections you make with the place, with the people, and ultimately with yourself.
I love that. It's about finding those, moments of genuine connection that make a place feel like more than just a destination.
Exactly. It's about embracing the unfamiliar, stepping outside that comfort zone, and just allowing yourself to be transformed by the experience. It's about finding that beauty in those everyday moments, whether it's, the aroma of street food just wafting through the air, or, the sound of monks chanting at a nearby temple, or, even just sharing a smile with a local vendor.
It sounds like it's about cultivating a sense of, openness, curiosity,
Yeah.
Allowing yourself to be present
Yes.
in the moment
Yes.
and appreciating the beauty of the ordinary.
You've got it. Letting go of preconceived notions, embracing the journey with all of its twists and turns, recognizing that home is not just a place, but it's a feeling, a state of being. It's about finding that sense of belonging, within yourself, and then letting it radiate outwards, connecting you to the world around you.
That's so beautifully said. And it's such, I don't know, an inspiring thought to leave our listeners with. So as you embark on your Bangkok adventure, remember to keep your heart and mind open. Embrace the unexpected.
Yeah.
And allow yourself to be transformed by the experience.
Yeah.
You might just discover that home isn't a place you find, it's a place you create.
One connection at a time.
Exactly.
Bangkok is a city that welcomes you with open arms.
Yeah.
It's vibrant, it's chaotic, it's spiritual, it's delicious, and it's full of surprises. You just got to be, open to the adventure.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. We've explored the ins and outs of Bangkok living, from, those must-visit neighborhoods to apartment hunting strategies, navigating the rental market, embracing the local culture, and even finding, a little inner peace
Amidst all that energy.
amidst all that energy.
We covered a lot of ground, but remember, this is just the beginning of your Bangkok story.
This is just the beginning. So as you prepare for this, exciting new chapter, remember to stay curious, be open to new experiences, and most importantly, have fun. Bangkok is a city that rewards those who, dive in with an open heart and an adventurous spirit.
Absolutely. And who knows, you might just discover that your Bangkok adventure is even more incredible than you ever imagined.
That's the best kind of discovery, I think.
It is.
And hey, you ever need another deep dive along the way, you know where to find us.
We'll be here ready to guide you on your journey.
Happy hunting, everyone. We can't wait to hear about your Bangkok adventures.